Here's Majin. Here's my comic pull is for February 21st, 2018. In case you guys haven't heard, Marvel's made an announcement that they are doing another relaunch. It's going to be, it's basically they're bringing back all the dead characters, all the characters that we've wanted, like Wolverine's coming back, which we already knew that. Male Thor's coming back. And it's the all new, refreshed edition of the Marvel Universe. I know that you guys are really, the numbering system is really important, so they are starting off with number ones all over again. And for those Miles Morales fans, in case you're wondering, his picture is his image is on the release, so he's coming back. I know people can finally get to sleep knowing the fate of Miss Marvel because she's coming back. Marvel is trolling us because Captain Marvel is pictured predominantly in the middle, and we got Black Panther, of course, but Black Panther is actually, all kidding aside, it's a good character. He does deserve some spotlight. And in the Avengers, new lineup, of course. You can't have a relaunch without a new lineup. So we got Captain America. We don't have Bruce, but we have She-Hulk, who looks like Hulk. And there is also, Doctor Strange is in there. And for those who are wondering, I know there are many people out there who've lost sleep over this. Ghost Rider's back. That's right. The Ghost Rider that you know and love, that you have grown attached to, that you have, this bonding with. It is the Ghost Rider from S.H.I.E.L.D. on TV S.H.I.E.L.D. So it is the Ghost Rider who drives a car and not the bike. Now, for those of you who might think I'm being unfair to Ghost Rider, I really do like the character concept. I just thought that, I thought that while I enjoyed some of those earlier issues, I thought that it failed to find a proper footing, and it just kind of whimpered. But I did enjoy many parts of it, especially like the art. The art's just crazy, so I like that first and foremost. So I'm not trolling it. It comes from the heart. Now let's talk about Batman. Batman number 41. Now, as you can imagine, you can tell by this cover, Batman has some weeds. And that's not a good thing, to have a weed problem if you have a nice big mansion with a garden. Now, when I read this book, it's basically Poison Ivy taking over the world, and she did. And the only two people who are immune are Batman and Catwoman, and that's because Batman kind of broke free enough and then had a serum, and he gave himself the serum. And he gave Catwoman the serum, too. Because that would make sense. He would give it to Catwoman versus the Butler. And when I read this book, I had this really weird feeling. I was imagining, what if Apple took over the world? And, everybody is the cult of Apple. They love Apple, they listen to Apple, they do whatever Apple tells them. But there are two holdouts. That's Bruce and Selena, and they're Zune users. And they're trying to fight the power. That's what their Zune. Because the Zune is a better product than the iPods. So, that's what I thought of when I read this. Other than that, it was decent start. But we know Batman's going to win, so no need to worry about it. All right, next up is the Hulk, number 2. I am very disappointed in the Hulk. The editor and colorist got the Hulk, missed the boat, I think. The Hulk is green and not this purplish color. I really do believe that people's heads should roll because of that, because, making a mistake like that is pretty darn bad. And here I thought I was never going to buy another Marvel book again, and here I'm buying the Hulk. Well, this one here, it's basically just showing how strong the Hulk is versus various supervillains who, because they're trying to get the Hulk to join the Suicide Squad, and he doesn't want to join. I don't understand. Deadshot makes it pretty clear. It's like you get a place to stay, you get some meals, you get a bomb implanted in your skulls. That way, if you don't follow orders, you die. But overall, you get to, kick some butt, rough things up a bit. So, to me, it sounds like a win-win for everybody. But Hulk doesn't think so. And so they fight. Now, which leads me to one of the worst pictures I have seen. And I believe somebody should be fired for this. We get our surprise guest for next issue, Wonder Woman. Now, doesn't this look like Wonder Woman is kneeling on an invisible floor? How is that flying? That's not flying. That's not jumping. That's not falling. That's somebody kneeling. That's somebody who doesn't know how to draw. Or, more accurately, I think that this is somebody who drew one picture, then realized and then without realizing what the rest of the page was going to look like, and then they got stuck with this monstrosity. I'm very disappointed. The colorist, the editor, and the artist heads should roll. This should not occur again. The Hulk. I'm surprised DC even has the Hulk. I don't know. Green Lantern, Green Lanterns, number 41. Well, this is the continuation of the dating app of superheroes. The thing I find kind of funny about this app is this is really the loser level app of superhero dating, because the only superheroes on this app are like peons, people you've never heard of. They're literally your favorite, your friendly neighborhood superhero that basically has a patrol of 4 blocks, that nobody's ever heard of. And then you get 2 of the biggest losers in the Justice League, the 2 Green Lanterns, on the dating site. I mean, imagine a Green Lantern Justice League member who should be technically a AAA character is dating I'll just say F-level superhero that nobody's ever heard of, except for the 4 blocks around the neighborhood. And nobody in that neighborhood can figure out, oh my gosh, that's Jennifer, who, how would I have guessed that? She's got a costume on. Even though Jennifer's always not there when Bullet Woman is there, type thing. Nonsense. And it's their... And on top of that, it's their really stupid misadventures. It's like... they're trying to use their ring to become fierce bounty hunters, and they're not. I mean, it's just like... everything that occurs in this book just proves that these 2 characters are not anywhere close to the main, the main event. They run around like idiots. They know novices, and they're on a dating app that appeals to the lowest common denominator. I mean, you're never going to see, hypothetically speaking, the Flash, on this thing. And then the dating app recommends these 2, oh my goodness, I couldn't see that coming a mile away. But that's what I thought about that. Super Sons number 13. This is what I really want to see with Super Sons. See, you have Damian, who's forced to go to school with Jonathan. And here's little rich kid who, he's a trained assassin, and he's going to this school, and nobody likes him because he's super intelligent. And I wish he would get bullied, because he would just destroy. You know what I mean? He would just destroy them all. But anyways, this is a story where, hey, mom's back. Jonathan's like, oh my gosh, are you really an assassin? And, Damien doesn't want to talk about that nonsense. That's ages ago. Another lifetime. And then they have to figure out, okay, what's mom doing? Why is she here? Oh, there's a civil war. It says there's a civil war going on here. So we have Iron Man and Captain Marvel battling in the background with a bunch of assassins. And we find out that his mom is after some people she needs to kill. And, of course, 3 guesses if you can imagine who her target is going to be. Whose mom is on that list? Superman, number 41. Escape from Suicide Planet. Let us die. Let us die. This cover, while it does look modern, it really, to me, it's channeling a book from the 70s. Where you had Superman and a bunch of aliens saying something really like what would have been like, what are you talking about? Let us die. He's Superman. He's there to save you. It's like a contradiction. And so I kind of appreciate that. I really like that. Now onto the story. Now, if you remember last time, there's this planet full of religious fanatics. And their god said, your planet is going to explode, so you all must die. And they killed all the scientists except for one. And he's like, look, they're a bunch of idiots. They're going to die. So I got eggs that my wife and I had set aside for a rainy day. And I found a planet, and I need to go to that planet so this way I can raise my kids. And that way the race won't die. Which, leads me to, it's going to get really awkward. When you only have eggs from the same mother and father. So they're all brothers and sisters, and there's a lot of them in this protective sphere. And incest is not going to be best in this case, because that's all that there's going to be. He needed to have captured eggs from multiple scientists and multiple people, so this way this wouldn't have occurred, that problem. Now, problem number 2. Well, it's not really a problem. I actually I see what they're doing here. This is really a story of religion, faith, and science, and how everything fits together. And, it actually kind of, whether or not it's intended or not, mirrors what's going on here in the States, where you have the rejection of science. Whether or not you believe in global warming or not, or what's actually what's causing it to occur, you can't deny that temperatures are increasing and weather patterns are not the same as they used to be. Now, the religious fanatics won't even acknowledge that that's happening. And, whether or not you believe that science can fix it or it's too late to fix anything, it's something that needs to be looked at, because in the sense of, while today there might not be a problem, later on there's going to be problems. So we have to understand what's happening and what we can do to protect, infrastructure, cities, if there's going to be more tsunamis or earthquakes or hurricanes or whatever, that way we can prepare and fortify cities to protect us against that kind of stuff. And the religious fanatics just don't care, because it's God's will. So if God's will, if the tsunami comes and wrecks the island, they don't care. Whoever dies, and that's just, cost of doing living on that island. So that's why it's an interesting story in that sense, because of, you kind of get the two sides of the story. And even the science guy's like, well, yeah, I believe in science, but I kind of believe in God too. So, there could be a peaceful coexistence between the two. Which, while I understand that's what some people say, I mean, realistically speaking, it's like, do you believe in fairy tales or do you believe in physics? I don't see how you can believe in one and believe in both. You know what I mean? You can't. But anyways, overall, it was an interesting story and an interesting take on this conflict of philosophical conflict and what Superman does when he inserts himself into this mess. But so overall, I appreciated it. Anyways, that is some reviews for you. I'm going to go with what you guys picked up, what you guys are looking forward to reading the most. I could recommend to you. You might want to pick up My Hero Academia. I know I've said it multiple times. They do superheroes in that book better than Marvel Comics. It channels Marvel Comics from the 60s and 70s in terms of how the heroes acted. And they updated for the 21st century, and it's an amazing story. You should all check it out. You can go to Shonen Jump online or whatever.com, and you can get the online issues really cheap off of Comixology, so you don't have an excuse. Anyways, and if you get them through the Shonen Jump through Comixology, there's other stories there too that are, some of them are good, some of them are not so good. Promised Neverland is good, and there's a few other ones. Anyways, that's it for today. Like, share. And these scars are battle scars from wrestling the cat. So, until next time.